Hey everyone, it's Tina here from Scrappiness. Today I have a brand new card to share with you using the new dies for June. It is the Stitched Scallop dies. So we have it in the rectangles, the squares, the ovals, and the circles. I'll be using the rectangles today. So I will be doing a shaker card, and the beauty about making a shaker card is using your pattern paper. I tend not to use pattern paper anymore because it's oxides and creating your own backgrounds. I like doing that, so I figured it's time to take out the pattern paper. I think this one is probably no longer being produced, but it's a beautiful one from Bo Bunny. It's called Serendipity. So for my shaker card, I'm going to make a frame with the Stitched Scallop Rectangle Dies with the never-ending rectangle dies, and I'm going to do that on white cardstock. So for my background, I'm going to be using the double-stitched rectangle dies, the largest one. And I have to do this beforehand because I won't be able to do it afterwards. For the acetate, I'm using the Hero Arts. For my sentiment, I'll be using the Everyday Brushstrokes stamp set, Happy Birthday, and I'll be heat embossing that. And then for my inside, I will be using the pattern paper. I already fussy cut out two birds in the house. The house was pink, and I didn't really like it's pretty, but I didn't like it for my card. So what I did is I used a gel pen in white. I colored it, and then afterwards I went in with a yellow marker and I changed the color to blend better with the card. And I will be die cutting it with one die bigger than my frame because you don't want to see it. And I'm going to be using the Spring Leaves. I really wanted to use it. I haven't had a chance to do it, so I figured let's make a card that's green and use up the sequins. They're so pretty. They have like leaf shapes, squares. We're going to get started. So the first step to create this card, we're going to have to create the card base. It's trimmed down to 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score it at 4 1/4. And then we're going to fold it in half and use the bone folder to secure that. I'm going to turn it over, and we have our card base. So I'm creating a frame using the Stitched Scallop Rectangle dies along with the never-ending rectangle dies, and this will allow me to create a frame. So I've passed it through the die cut machine, and now I'm going to remove the frame. And this is going to cover my acetate border so that you don't see it. See how pretty that is? So for the next step, for the background, I die cut one size up from the actual frame, and then I die cut one even bigger for the acetate and the background, and you'll see why shortly. Before we assemble the shaker card, I did want to put my sentiment and the birds and the tree house down. So I'm just lightly marking with a pencil. So this will allow me to know exactly where to place my sentiment and also the birds. But you can do it this way by placing the birds in the treehouse with the sentiment. So the other way is to place it down this way and then adhere everything and leave the sentiment on and place it in your stamping tool. So I put my pattern paper in my stamp platform, and I've already placed the stamp. I did do it, however, on the clear side. So with Versamark, I'm going to ink up the stamp. What I should have done first is use an anti-static powder tool, but it's okay. Whatever excess I have, I'll wipe away with the brush. So I'm removing the pattern paper. And I'm gonna sprinkle some black embossing powder. And as I said, with a fine brush, I'm just gonna wipe away any excess. There you go. I'm gonna do it off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so before we finish the shaker card part, I need to adhere the birds and the treehouse to the background. So I'm gonna do that with Collage Medium. I'm going to place an acrylic block on top just to let the glue dry, and it'll dry down flat. So I've placed double-sided adhesive tape to the background, and I'm removing the release sheet. You need a good strong adhesive because it's going to hold the acetate. Okay. And this is why your acetate should be a little bit larger than the die cut of the panel of the background. So there you go. So now the next step is to adhere foam tape all around, and I'm going to do that off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm just about ready to put in the sequins, but I want to just run my anti-static powder tool in between the edges. This will help to reduce the stickiness. It won't take it away completely, but it will help a great deal. So I'm going to go ahead and pour in my sequins. Look how gorgeous that is. Okay, before I adhere the back side of the panel, I need to remove my pencil lines. So I'm going to gently remove them. I've also placed double-sided adhesive tape, but I'll release the release sheet after we adhere the background. Okay, now you want to make sure that the right side is up, and I'm going to put on the panel. And this seals everything so that you can adhere it to the card much easier. So now I'm going to remove the release sheet. And I'm going to adhere it to the card base. Sorry guys, I'm standing up. And there you go. Okay, so now it's time to add on the little white frame that we did. So once again, I've put on some double-sided adhesive tape and I've removed it, and now it's time to put it on. And there you go. A fun shaker card. So all products can be found at Cat Scrappiness. To receive 10% off your order, use code TINA10 at checkout. I want to thank you for stopping by and have a wonderful day. Bye.